Hello everybody, welcome to the channel and thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video I'm going to be crafting with box number 23 from Papercraft Society. This is the Crafty Individuals box, and if you missed the unboxing I will link it in the description box of the video in case you wanted to check that out. So during this video I aim to make 3 cards, and I'm going to try to only use items that came in this kit. However, I may well draw on previous kits if I feel I need to, or I may well use something that's in my stash that I think most people will have. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video and try and make 3 different cards using this amazing kit. The first element of the kit that I want to use is this gorgeous topper sheet. I absolutely love this, and this is one of the things that as soon as I saw it I knew I wanted to use straight away. So what I've done is I have used this little die from my stash and I've cut them out because look how well that fitted across the toppers. Now if you wanted to do the same as me, this die, let's just give it a quick measure, from cutting edge to cutting edge is just under 2 3/4 inches, and it's actually given me a really nice effect. So if you look at this one, this reminds me of back in the day when we put film in cameras and we went and collected our photos and they came with the negatives. This actually reminds me of the negative strip you used to get. Now I don't know whether it's the colours or whether it's because it's got the black edge and now it's got the stitching down the side, but something about that reminds me of negatives. But I really quite like the effect. Now I've decided I'm going to make a 5x7 card. So I have a pre-folded card blank ready, and I think I want to use some of these papers that came with the kit as well. They're really beautiful, and the one I'm going to use is this one here. I think it's really unusual, and it's not the kind of thing I would normally use. I think I'd normally struggle to use this, so I thought, right, let's make a card out of this straight away. So I am going to cut this down to 5x7, and then I'm going to put it straight on the card blank. I'm going to try and keep mats and layers on this card to a minimum. So cut down to 5x7, there's a slight white border around the card, which to be honest I am not minding. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this onto the card base, and then I'll come back to you. That's all stuck down now, so it's time to choose the images that I want to use for today's card. Now, because you get 6 toppers per sheet, you could easily make 2 cards using this technique that I'm doing. But I'm just going to stick with one for today. So I want to use the ducks because I really like those. And I'm going to use the trees. And I do really like that one there. So let's put these ones aside for now. And then we've just got to layer them up, really. So let's see. Because there is a fair amount of empty space on the card, that's why I've placed those where I have done, because I want to leave the trees as a point of interest. And then I'm thinking this one can go over the top. But I think what I'll do is I will glue these 2 down. And I think I'm going to raise this one up slightly on foam pads. But before I do that, I need to add a sentiment. Now, I've looked at the stamps in this set and you actually only get one proper sentiment, and it's this best wishes one. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is just stamp directly onto this topper here. So let's get that stamped first. I'm going to use an acrylic block for stamping my sentiment, and I'm also going to use StazOn because this is quite shiny, so I think the StazOn will hold up a little bit better than regular ink. So let's get stamping and I'll come back to you. StazOn actually takes quite a while to dry because of the nature of the ink, so I need to be really careful with this now. So I think what I'm going to do is to glue the other bits down and then see how we're doing with this. Let's see if we can add some dots on the back. Right, let's have a look. I don't want this one raised too high above the others, so I'm just going to use these super thin ones. These are just probably the cheap ones from the pound shop, if I'm honest, but I'm not convinced that the sentiment is dry yet, so I'm just going to be really careful where I place these because I don't want to smudge it. I'm really happy with that. I don't think I'm going to add anything more to that, and I think that is a super cute, very quick and easy card to do. So I'll just bring it up so you can see. What do you think? Do you like that one? Well, let me know in comments. That was so quick to do. Honestly, you could batch make with that set alone and have 4 really lovely cards to give out. So let's get on to the next card. For the next card, I'm going to be using a 6x6 pre-folded card blank, and for this card I'm going to be doing some ink blending. So I also have some scrap cardstock and some washi tape. Now the first thing I'm going to do is just mask off a couple of areas on this card. So I think first of all we'll go up here and just hold this in place with some washi, and then we'll come across here. For the purpose of this video, I am going to be using my distress inks. Now the Papercraft Society does come occasionally with inks, but whereas distress inks have the lovely names, so I can easily identify to you which ink I'm actually using, the Papercraft Society inks don't actually have names. They're just a block of colour. So although I normally with these videos like to only use stuff that comes in the kit, I'd also like for you to be able to follow along if that's what you want to do. So by using those inks, you might not be able to match exactly what I'm doing. Whereas if I say I'm going to use carved pumpkin, which I am in a second, if you have that, you'll be able to pull it out and use it. If you don't, just use, you know, whichever of the colours you want. Now, I'm going to do some really quick ink blending. Let's lift this up and see what we've got. So we have a really nice line of carved pumpkin. Now it's not the straightest, but you know what, I'm not that fussed about that. So let's put that one away and move on to the next colour. So I'm not going to leave the biggest of gaps between these. So I think I'm going to come down to roughly here. Now the other thing I'm going to do, because that one's on a bit of a wonk, I am going to just angle this down slightly so that it's not completely straight. And let's leave a little gap here. In fact, let's use the white side of this. Angle that bit down. Okay, so by rotating my papers, I now shouldn't get any colour contamination, shall we say. And I am going to use spiced marmalade this time. Let's have a look at this one. Beautiful. Okay, so this time we're going to send the wonky line this way, and I'm going to leave an even smaller gap on this one. And just flipping the cardstock over again. And this line I'm going to make really quite narrow. And this time I think we will use fossilized amber. There we go. So now I'm almost tempted to bring in another colour in this strip here. So what I think I'm going to do is really close this gap down. I'm just going to put the smallest amount of colour in here. So I do want a slight border between the two. And let's bring in this one again. So this is just going to be a really thin line of colour. Not worrying too much about the way the wonk's going, so to speak. So let's bring in some wild honey. Perfect. Look how beautiful that is. As part of this kit, we got two separate stamp kits. So we have this one here and we have this one here, and there are a lot of silhouette stamps on here, and I think that is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to use this one here, and I think I'm just going to grab this one with the flowers, and I'm just going to put it kind of in the middle. Let me get it on my block. And I'm using my VersaFine ink to ink this up. How pretty is that? And simply put this down in the bottom corner here. I'm just going to add in another, probably two of the flower. How cute is that? You could totally add some Nouveau drips or something onto this, but I think I'm going to leave it as is. It's just a nice card to send someone to say you're thinking of them. It could also be a birthday card. There's quite a few different uses for this one, so I am fairly happy with that one. For the last card I'm making today, I really wanted to use this die set. I was really intrigued by it, and I thought it was really pretty. I thought that this piece would look really nice cut out as a silhouette, so I have already pre-cut that. and I have my silhouette here. I've used some scrap black cardstock. It cut okay, but if you can see, there's still some pieces of the die remaining that even when I go over it with a die release tool and a pokey tool, it's just not coming out. So yeah, I wasn't too happy, but I do like the overall look. And then I was like, right, well, what can I do with this? So I decided to use this beautiful piece of DSP, and I'm going to be focusing on this one here with the reflection in the water, because I actually thought it would look really nice if I cut it down slightly, so I could have the reeds and then kind of the trees, almost like you're looking through a window or something. So that's what I'm going to do. So really quickly, what I will do is I will chop this down and then come back to you. There's the image cut down. Here is our little die cut silhouette. So I was looking at what kind of card size this will fit on, and I think 5x5 will be fine. So once again, I've got my trusted pre-fold card blank, but I think I'm going to need a matte layer on this. So I'm going to grab the core colour cardstock that came with this kit, and we'll decide what colour to do. These are the core card block colour cardstocks that came in the kit, and I'm kind of leaning towards these two. I think we'll actually go with the darker one. I'm going to trim this down to 5x5. Let's get this stuck on the card blank. And now let's sort this frame out. So let's see where we want to trim it. Up the top for now. Okay, so I'm going to be popping that on there. And then this is going to come down here, like so, and cover that. So what I'm going to need to do is actually put a tiny bit of glue onto the ends here so that it can attach nicely to the top of the frame. So there you go, you can see where I've glued, and then I've just attached it to the top of the frame, and then before it's dried too much, I'm just checking that actually it still does what I need it to do, and it does. So the next thing I need to do is to mark where I want to chop this down. So I'll just grab a pencil, and at the end of the frame I'm just going to put some little pencil marks, and now I can see where I need to make my cut. So I'll go off and do that. There we go. This is going to sit really nicely over the top. As with the first one, I don't want this to be too raised, so I'm just grabbed these little ones. These I believe are from Dot and Dab. So I'm just going to literally put a couple in each corner. Beautiful. And this is going to go really nicely on here. I just think it needs something a little bit extra. I'm going to use this piece of DSP. It's got the really beautiful leaves on, and I'm going to cut this down to probably 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. Here's the cut down piece of paper. That's going to look so pretty. So let's get that stuck down and see where we go next. The DSP stuck down and I have the image, but I was thinking about a sentiment. So if I place this centrally, there's not really anywhere to go with the sentiment, but equally I don't think I want to use that best wishes stamp again. So I've been out and I have grabbed box number 11, which was Card Making Magic, and it was the autumnal box last year. Now this actually came with some sentiment toppers, which I think are really nice, and I quite like this with love. So I think what I'm going to do is just pop that one out and play around with placement until I find a good spot where this fits on the card. I'm going to attach this off center and then maybe just use another foam pad to put that one on. So I've actually put the pad on the side so that it sits here and props it up. To finish it off, I'm going to use these. Now these are from my own stash. If you're in the UK, you can get these in the works. I have seen them in there recently, so they are still available. They are really pretty little leaves in 3 different colours actually. So I'm going to use these just down the side here to finish the card. I think that has come out absolutely beautifully. I really like that one. So that is 3 different cards using the items that came in the Papercraft Society box by Crafty Individuals. I'm really pleased with how all 3 have turned out. I think they are all very different cards, and I really hope you have enjoyed watching, and I hope you like the cards. Let me know in comments which one is your favourite. Is it the ducks? Is it the aperture silhouette, or is it the stamped silhouettes? I don't think I could actually choose a favourite right now. I really like them all. So I really hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I hope it's given you some inspiration. If you do have this box, something you can go off and create yourselves. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you have enjoyed this video, please smash that thumbs up button and give it a whacking great big like. I really enjoy doing these videos for you, so I really appreciate every like, every comment, every subscriber. I will be back very soon with more videos. We already have the next box. We have the Sam Calcott Made to Surprise Christmas box, so I will get cracking on some ideas and cards using that box very soon. I hope everyone is safe and well. Thank you once again for watching, and until next time, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.